It has been a year. First off, I'm not dead. I realize some of you have been starting to wonder whether or not I was, but like many people, this year has kind of flipped things on its head a little bit. I was never exactly great at maintaining a schedule before all of this, but this year has just taken my will to make videos and slurped it out of my body. I need to remove the word slurp from my vocabulary. I believe the last time I uploaded a video was, oh god, January? Have I uploaded this year? Have I uploaded? Oh, hold on. April. I mean, not good, but not as bad as I thought. So I think it goes without saying that, like most of the world, it has been an unusual year. But it is almost over. The physical year itself, not all of this, because I, for one, am not tempting the universe into proving me wrong by saying something like can't be any worse than Recently, I've really gotten that itch to make videos back. And what better time to kind of reset and get back into things than New Year's? Now, for the past 2 years, my best friend Jude has made themselves vision boards for the upcoming year. And I have been dying to make one myself, but both years I forgot until the day of New Year's Eve, but not this year. This year, I prepared. I have got a poster board, which I did not buy. I technically stole from my mother, but shh. I have got my photos, and I have got absolutely no sleep, as is tradition. It's a really bad tradition. I need to stop doing this. But enough of me rambling on. Let's move into, well, more rambling on, but different. I think what I'm gonna do is go through the photos and trim them around a little bit, have some arts and crafts time, and then at the end, I will put them all together and we will fully tape them down and get everything set. I have these kind of separated into overarching categories of goals, and then the more specific ones underneath it. And the first one is taking care of myself. Well, the last month or two, I've definitely gotten better at taking care of myself because I've started creating, frankly, obsessive logs of everything that I do, which may not be perfectly healthy, but it helps me keep track of things. So like, happy medium. The first photo I have is for leaving my house, and I don't mean out to stores or anything. I mean literally stepping outside of my house and breathing fresh air. I'm relatively certain I can count on less than 2 hands the amount of times I have gone outside of my house this year for more than 2 minutes that wasn't for something like taking the garbage to the can. I have been very good about opening my blinds and getting some lovely sunlight in, but I think I'm pale enough to show that I need some actual direct sunlight in my life. Something that I think would be great to do while I'm outdoors is journaling. I'm actually very excited to do this for a video as well, so look forward to that sometime later this year. The most I have managed journaling in my life, I think, was for like a week before I've forgotten about it. I think it'll be really interesting to see the not only hopefully positive effects that it has on my life, but also the ideas and stuff that come from it. Next, and actually this is the first one that I want to cut out, so I'm going to chat and trim, is actually setting aside dedicated time and relaxing, which I realize for a lot of people sounds very, very simple, but just about any freelancer will tell you that when you alone are in charge of your work and you do not have dedicated work hours, it is very, very difficult to relax because you're constantly thinking about, well, I could be doing something right now. I could be working on something. So even when you're trying to relax, you're not actually relaxed. Ideally, I would like to move into having an entire 2-day weekend off like a lot of 9-to-5 workers have. But for right now, I will take just a few dedicated hours a week to just do nothing and not care about it. And the last thing in my taking care of myself category is a bit silly, but I would like to buy a few luxury items for myself. Is that ridiculous? Probably. What's more ridiculous is the fact that I have no idea what Chanel No. 5 smells like, but like when I think of luxury, when I think of like a first luxury item, this is the first thing that comes to mind. So probably not this specifically, but I think a really fun mark of, I don't want to say adulthood. Adulthood sounds funny, which I'm pushing 24 now and still sounds laughable coming out of my mouth, is owning a few luxury items. The next overarching category I have is something that I think is going to lead to quite a few exciting videos this year, and that is learning things. I'm the type of person who always wants to be learning something. I always want to be doing something new, and I barely learned anything new this past year. So I've really got my fingers crossed for 2021 that it itself is not only going to be a good year for learning, but is going to make up for what I missed this year. First in that is something I've actually already done a video on, and it's knitting. And all I can say on that is that I tried it for a video going on 2 years ago now, and that's about it. I put down the needles and immediately gave up. I tried to teach myself how to purl, and apparently that was just too much for me, and I abandoned ship real quick. So before winter next year, I want to have not only learned how to knit well, I want to knit myself a sweater, which for lifelong knitters may not sound that intimidating, but for myself sounds is close to impossible. So we'll see how that one goes. Next is going to make my family and everyone else in the county hate me. I want to properly learn how to play the violin that has been living in my closet since last October. Violin is the very first instrument I remember ever wanting to play. And for my 22nd birthday last year, my mom got me one and I was so excited. And then I went to tune it and I realized that with my arthritic hands, I cannot hold the little tuner bits. But I recently learned that they make little tuner knobs that you can just put in there that are mechanical like a ukulele or a guitar, and I can use those. Next, maybe not quite as entertaining as the others, but I want to learn how to code. I come from two highly skilled computer programmers and my personal coding skills extend to basic HTML and that's about it. I'm going to politely ask my doctor to look away for this next one because I did not ask for permission. I missed out on the roller skating trend this year and I'm so upset about it. I started really getting into TikTok during the peak pretty girls and roller skates time, and the fact that I could not personally participate eats away at my soul, and I will not let it happen another year. Got two photos for this next one, and that is learning how to sew. And I mean properly learning how to sew, not just the sad little hand stitching that I can do right now, which doesn't even stay very well. I hemmed a skirt last year and it's not pretty. Over the past few years, I've really discovered a love for fashion, but sadly we are not at a point where a lot of actually fashionable clothes come in size fat. So the best, if not the only way I'm going to be able to fulfill my wardrobe dreams is to learn how to sew it my dang self. And the second thing for this, which is just very specific, but is the number one thing that I want to learn how to make, I want a pink corduroy pantsuit. I've been trying to hunt down a pink corduroy pantsuit with the blazer and the pants for several years, and I have not found one even close to my size. So I've been left with no choice but to learn how to make it myself. Next thing I want to learn, which I feel like will create some fantastic videos, is how to cook. Now this guy on this photo is a bit outside of the skill range that I'm looking for here, because currently I can cook scrambled eggs and that's it. So expanding my skill set a little bit is probably a good idea. And the last thing in my learn category, and God I love this photo, is learn a dang language. I have very basic conversational knowledge of like 5 or 6 languages and practical usable knowledge of absolutely none. 4 years of French for essentially nothing. Earlier in the year, I asked over on Twitter what language I should focus on, French or Spanish, because they're the two best languages that I have a base for. And while I definitely know a lot more French than Spanish, Spanish is probably a lot more. I don't remember inviting you to this party. We already got one cat on the desk. Okay. And the vote ended up being for Spanish. So hopefully by the end of next year, I not only have some usable language skills, but also the Duolingo owl has not come and slaughtered my whole family for missing a day of Spanish lessons. Next category is a bit shorter, just some fun things. I want to take more Polaroids. If you're following me either on Instagram or Twitter at the very beginning of this year, you will know that one of my plans for this year was to take a Polaroid every single day, and I was so excited about it. I actually did really well until about early April. And then I learned very quickly that being unable to leave the house means that things get very boring very quickly. And there's only so many Polaroids of my cats I can take. And because of that, I got kind of frustrated with it and I just put away my Polaroid, and I've only taken like 3 Polaroids since then. Oh my god, guys, I'm running out of desk space. Okay. Third one to the party. So next year I want to take a lot more than I did this year. I still don't think I'm going to be able to do the Polaroid everyday thing because we're going to be like this for a while because some of us can't follow basic instructions. But especially with all of the other goals that I have for the year, I think I'll definitely have some exciting things to take some photos of. I know. Poppers on the bed. You can't be on the glass desk. You don't have traction. You will slide right off. You can still have camera time though. Hi, baby. Where's your face? Where's your face? Where's your face? Boop. Next, I want to finish a dang temperature blanket. It is supposed to be a line of a blanket every single day representing the temperature for that day. And I have tried to make a temperature blanket the past 2 years, and actually I have this year's in sight. This is how far I got of this year's. This is April, I believe. So, not exactly great. So please take this as permission to harass me on social media throughout the year asking whether or not I am currently up to date on my temperature blanket. Next fun thing might be a bit too optimistic, but I like to try and keep the plant alive. I have owned at least 10 plants in my life. Oh no, closer to 20. I have murdered every single one of them. And I just see so many people living their plant parent dreams and I want it. I want it. And last thing on my fun list, I was going to say it's an unnecessary thing, but no, It's a necessary thing. I want a sword. Listen. It is my sapphic right to own a sword. I don't have any other reason for this. I want a sword. Next diverging is also kind of small, but I want to check off all of the lists I have been creating for the past several years. If there's anything anyone in my life knows about me, it's that I have a thing for lists. I create lists for everything. I am not, however, great at following up on those lists. Things like my movie and TV watch list, and the other photo for this one, my book list. I have not read a physical book in 3 years, I think. I mean, my total word count read list for this year is well into the tens of millions, but not one of them's a book. Not one of them's a book. But along with the list that I would like to clear out, I also need to clear out my yarn stash. I can think of 2 big of those Rubbermaid tubs. I can think of 2 drawers that are over here, a basket. It's taken over my life. I highly doubt I can clear it all out this year, but I think I can get a good chunk. Okay, we are nearing the end here and we are moving into the big gun things. Work and creation related stuff, and something that, putting this one on the board is really trying to manifest it. I want to move. I don't mean move out, but I want me and my family to not be in this house. Because first and foremost, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know about the neighbors. We have a set of neighbors who have always been strange, but boy have they gone off the rails this year. And number 2, there's a lot of trauma attached to this house. Now, this one is not just about hard work and good vibes. There's a lot more involved in it. It's not just me involved in it. So this one is really reliant on a lot of factors outside of my control. But I'm putting it on here. I'm choosing to believe that the vision board has magical powers and can bring this to me. Now, for the last category, work and creative related things, this is where the real big ones are. Well, less of a big one first is I really want to dedicate this year to establishing art professionally. Over the past year, I've had the really exciting opportunity to create emotes for Twitch streamers and work on portrait commissions and so many fun art related things, which as someone who originally intended to go to college for art is very, very exciting. So I'm very, very excited for investing time into art properly and setting up commissions and a website and all of that fun stuff. And lastly, my 2 biggest goals, which I couldn't really separate. Number 1, I will be starting streaming on Twitch as early as possible. I'm still working on getting a PC set up and getting everything together, but it is something that I've been planning on for over a year now. And watching my friends stream over the past year has really solidified for me that this is not only the next step for me creatively, but also just for fun. I am so excited to be able to interact with you guys live, to be able to play more games. I do not play enough fun games in my life. And to have the all pink setup of my dreams. Because 1, it'll make my pink obsessed heart happy. And 2, little brings me joy in life, like pissing off elitist gamer boys. Even though I'm not technically streaming it, I will be including a link to my Twitch down below. And you can actually go ahead and subscribe over there as well so you know as soon as I have my first stream. And the last big end of the pile, I would like to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are currently sitting at a little over 15,000, but listen, I am nothing if not the queen of misplaced optimism. Is this likely an absurd number? Yes. But when I started YouTube, I thought 1,000 was an absurd number, and we have long since surpassed that. So we're putting it on the board. We are sending our good vibes into it. We are manifesting that. I am so cautious to say too many good things and too many exciting things because the universe seems to like to spite us. But I have really good feelings about this year, creatively and work-wise, and I think it's gonna be a good year. Whew! All right. All of our photos. Now it is time to arrange and get them set down and looking all pretty. Whew. All right, that genuinely took over an hour. I thought it was going to be a 10-minute process at best. I realized about 90% of the way in that if you put the tape down and then try to peel off the protective layer, it works a lot better, but it's fine. It's fine because it's done. I mean, is it beautiful? No, she's a little wonky, but she's perfect to me. At some point later today, I will trim off the edges and she's going to hang right in this spot above my desk on the wall. But that is a later task after I get some food because this took 2 hours longer than I expected it to. I'll be sure to post a photo on Twitter of her in her rightful spot as soon as she's up. But that is where I'm going to wrap up this video. It feels really weird to be filming again after so long, but so good. I have lots of fun things planned for the new year, but if you have anything specific that you guys would like to see me try, make sure you leave it in a comment down below. And I'll be looking through those to see what you guys want to see and get some ideas for some possible future videos. And the best way to ensure you don't miss out on any of those is hitting the subscribe button down below. While you're down there, go ahead and ding the notification bell to be notified as soon as I upload, and check out my social medias in the description box. But with that said, I will see you guys in the new year.